Learn how to work a camera. Anyways, we are building a 360. I've already got the crank put in it. Cleaned the block up about a year ago. It's been sitting. So today, tired of it sitting around, taking up shelf space. Need the room for other stuff. So we already got the first 2 pistons put in. I'll show you my process if anybody cares. So let's get to it. Hopefully the camera don't fall over. I'm steady so far. Alright, so we'll start with number 3. I'll pull off my nuts. Split your caps. Or cap, I guess it would just be a single, not a plural. And so what I do is I use a straight Lucas. Don't dilute it with anything, because I don't always know when it's going to actually be started up. Put some lube on your bearing. You can put a little bit on your threads. This stuff's really thick. Put some on your other bearing. I've used the same bottle of Lucas multiple times. I've done 4 or 5 engines so far just with this bottle. The one engine I had to do multiple times. The guy brought me a block that was cracked on both sides. Didn't realize it till after it was put together. I did notice that it had a slight line down the side, but it had the same line on both sides. I just thought it was a casting defect. And spread it on there a little. It's real thick once you tighten it down. If you don't get it 100% on everything, it'll spread out. So, seeing what I'm doing, cylinders 3 and 4. Seeing that the crank is already positioned where I want it to be for both pistons and rods. I'll go ahead and get both of them lubed up and ready. Get yourself the finger slicer 5000. Make sure it's spread apart. I also put some lube around it. Go up one side, down the other half. Trying to get it down. And then you can flip it over. And do the bottom set of your rings. Piston ring compressor on there. Make sure it's spread apart far enough. crank it down. Where you crank it too far, you see how that overlaps right there. Try to straighten that out. Try to get it centered as parallel as you can. The more parallel, even you get it, the more clicks you can get out of it. Make sure you got your arrow pointing in the correct direction. On the bottom of your rod here, you'll see your bearing offsets to one side more than the other. The one side has more of a chamfer to it. That goes towards that big weight on your crank. So since this is number 3, this side goes towards the front, and you won't be able to see the arrow, but I do. It's right there. Get that set down on there. Now you turn toward the engine. Alright. And then tap it. Give it some of the tip taps. That makes sure you get it seated down in there. Try to get everything lined up. And then you can start sending her home. And make sure it goes. And if you have your block positioned correctly, you should be able to go down in there like that. Give it the old reach around. Make sure the rod goes around the crank. And then you can spin it around to the other side. Do the same thing on the next one. And get you spread out. If need be, continue wiping off your hands. Make sure everything is nice and clean. That way you don't contaminate it. Probably get you more in frame. Yeah, they're all lubed up. And start the process all over again. And the compressor here. We'll also spread that oil amongst your rings a little bit. May not be a lot. I also coat the cylinder walls with it. That way it don't rust. Everything's well lubricated. That way if it takes you a little while to start the engine, everything stays lubed nicely. Do not remove that till everything is fully in. Otherwise, your springs will pop out. And it should go. Nice and smooth, just like that. And you can flip her over. Make sure you grab the correct cap. Put it on to where your locating tang faces the other locating tang. Sometimes you gotta give her a little wiggle wiggle. Seeing that I cleaned this about a year ago and it's been sitting, I did paint or throw some primer on it to keep it from rusting. Evidently, I didn't put it on there thick enough. Some of it is starting to show some rust. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. So I have to go through and grind that off and redo it. This only torques them down to about 30 foot-pounds. It's not real strong, so I use it just to zip them down. Technically, you should probably do one at a time and then make sure the crank turns, just in case something's a little bit too big if you didn't measure it. And then you give her a spin. And get the next rod journal where you want it. And then you can start the process all over again on the next two. So, get it turned here again without knocking it over. You want a separate stand. That way I don't shake you around or whatnot. So we'll do the same process on the next two and the two after that. Pulling everything apart. So we'll stick around, you can. If not, I think I might just continue talking about other things. Say those Edelbrock aluminum heads that I got. If you've been watching, following along, the off of a different 360, the Durango debacle. So I took them to the machine shop the other day. They decided they do not want to mess with gasoline engines at the moment. So now I gotta find a new machine shop. They're more of a diesel performance place. So I kind of understand. At the same time, you're turning down business, a return customer. If you're too busy, just say you're backed up. That would be a different story. I'd understand that. And I would just say, well, I'll come back some other time. And it would help keep you a customer. They didn't say that though. So If I can find me another machine shop that I like, maybe it'll be a better fit. Maybe they won't be so picky. Don't really care for it when people try to tell me no, when I'm willing to pay you money. Don't always want to pay them money, but you got to pay for things you can't do yourself. So got the valve covers dropped off to the guy who's doing my powder coating. He's not very backed up right now. Said he should have them done in about a week. May have them done later this week. He'll let me know either way. While I was there, he does drag racing also. So I asked him if he's got a particular machine shop that he uses. And he does. Mentioned that guy does some drag racing. Said he was on Street Outlaws or something at one point. So I tried calling them today. They did not answer. But from what it looks like, the guy's got a Hemi in his car that he drag races. So, tells me he may be more of a Mopar guy. Don't forget to flip your engine back over, like I just did. There we go. So he may be more of a Mopar guy like myself. So he might be a better fit. Your pistons normally go in fairly tight sometimes. Should be all the time. You position it just right. You shouldn't have to give the old reach around as much. To get those in. Once you go down for the final push, give her a little bonk, make sure it's seated. So hopefully this guy will call me back. Hopefully it won't be too busy to work on my engine. Cylinder heads, more or less. These are not brand new pistons, if anybody's wondering. You can probably see how clean they are. I didn't spend 16 hours cleaning them. But I did. I don't know if you're really supposed to. I did stick them in the sandblaster. Use a real fine grit, glass bead stuff. And I didn't spend a whole lot of time in any particular given area. And that way it wouldn't take any material off the piston. Cleaned them up quite nicely. Would have seen how dirty these was. And if you've been following along, that's one of the engines I have talked about. That was full of gunk. One of the few in the past year have taken apart. That was just caked in stuff. Obvious somebody didn't change their oil for a very long time. If you didn't already catch that, I didn't put any lube on the threads. So do that right there. And I do try to use the same nuts that came off the rod. Probably not a big deal. They are all the same thread, same size. So luckily, a few months ago, I started a new job. Making a little more money. Went to apply at the same machine shop at